Can we really get by with a little help from our friends? This question and more on this episode of The Little White Lie. Caren Glasser here, and welcome to the show. As you know, The Little White Lie is all about those lies that we tell ourselves as we get older. And as I do every single show, I'd like to show you my reveal. And as I said last week, I'm about almost all grown out at this point, which is kind of good because I'm all grown up as well. If you're here on replay, we're delighted you're here on replay. Make sure that you put your comments in the comments below, and we'll come back and we'll respond to you. And if you're here live, we're delighted you're here live. Push that share button, send it out to the world so that they'll come back and join us now. My very special guest today, I am so excited. Her name is Hannah Ferrier. She is the star of Bravo's hit TV show Below Deck Mediterranean. Now, I had the delightful chance of meeting Hannah 3 years ago when I was a guest on the very first season of the show. And we've kept in touch, and I'm really happy that she's come back to join us. She's a great example of a young woman who knows what she wants, and she goes out and she gets it. And she's a great example for all of the young women, both young and old out there, to know that you can do that. She's relentless in achieving her goals, and her charm and her perseverance has allowed her to soar to heights that I, quite frankly, am very proud of what she's doing right now. And so without further ado, let's welcome Hannah to the show. Hannah, how you doing? Hey, it's so good to see you.
How are you going?
I am going great. And I have a question to ask you right off the bat. What's your little white lie? What lie do you hide behind?
I don't know if it's like a lie I hide behind, but probably, I guess, my secret to all the travel and a few wines every now and then is heaps and heaps of water. I'm even drinking it now, and always taking my makeup off before bed. And I try not to lie too much, because then otherwise I find I don't really have a good sleep. So maybe my lie is not lying.
I love that. Her little white lie is not lying. And we should all maybe follow your lead and not lie, because then you have to remember what you said, right?
Sure.
So, okay. So the question is, can we really get by with a little help from our friends? So first, let's define friendship. How would you define friendship?
So friendship to me is probably like one of the most important things in my life. I think especially once you're a little bit older, if you've been, like, I've been single now for 4 or 5 years. So my friends are my core, my structure. I'm in Barcelona right now at one of my best friends' places. So we travel all over the world to make sure that we see each other. And I think it's just, to me, like, I know this sounds awful and you shouldn't say this at this age, but men do kind of come and go a little bit. So yes, it is really important to keep your girlfriends close. And I think there's like a lot of, sorry, that's my Google box going off. I think there's like almost like it's kind of acceptable to do so much for your partner, and then people almost find it a bit strange when you do that for your friends. And I kind of don't look at it that way. So I definitely move mountains for my friends, and I'm really lucky because they did the same thing back for me.
I love that. So what does girlfriend time look like for you? I mean, you just said you're at a girlfriend's house right now in Barcelona. Do you guys go traveling together? You go drinking together? You go on Below Deck Med together, possibly? What does it look like?
So last night it was 2 wines before we went out. And then we went to a really nice fine dining restaurant, had good food, went for a cocktail afterwards. We're really honest with each other. So she'd been in a foul mood the night before. So after I got a few drinks into her, I was like, wow, you were such a bitch last night. That's kind of part of any good friendship, is just allowing each other to be honest, and she lets me know when I piss her off, and I do the same. So
and that's such an important thing. It's about being honest with each other and being able to do that with the friends in our life. And as the people that are listening, you guys that are watching the show right now, if you have any comments and want to maybe ask Hannah a question, please feel free to put those comments in there. We'll make sure to pop them up on the screen, and Hannah can respond. We've got some people responding right now. Hola, ladies, and hello. That's great. We're really glad that you're joining us, and make sure you interact, because we do want to talk with you. So let's talk about some of the girlfriends that you made in the first season. You made some girlfriends in the very, very first season, and Tiffany, who became a captain, right? She's now captaining her own ship. And Julia, tell us a little bit about that relationship and those relationships, because that was the first season, and that probably was a little different as it moved forward.
Yeah, I think the first season was really unique because none of us knew what we were doing, and we were all kind of, running around with blank looks on our faces, running into doors, just going, what is going on here? And I think that gave us, we were all there for the right reasons as well. No one was there just to kind of be on camera or just to be on television. And I just feel like we formed like such a genuine bond. I formed a really genuine bond with both Julia and Tiffany. They're still good friends in my life now. And yeah, it was just one of those really weird experiences, and it will never be the same again from season one. So I think I got very lucky.
I think you did too. They were lovely, lovely women. And it was really nice to be able to meet you and also them. You guys made us feel very much at home. Here we were all the way across the world in a different place. We were in Naxos as that particular season was at Naxos. But you really made it easy. And I think it's because you guys were women as well. I called you guys were women. I think that's an oxymoron. You women were women. You girls were women. You gals were women. And you made us as women feel very comfortable. There was no cattiness. There was no, at least not on camera that we were seeing. We saw some really lovely women who treated each other with respect. Is that really and that's really what you wanted to make sure we all, and the television.
Yeah, of course. So I think like in season one, we all just had each other's back so much. So we just looked after each other and protected each other, and it was kind of us against the world. And I think that dynamic works really well on yachts because, we were lucky with you guys. You were such lovely guests, but sometimes you have really horrible guests that can bring your mood down and they can make you feel like not amazing. So the fact that you've got the girls there to kind of bounce off and bring your mood back up when you're feeling a bit shitty is always a great thing. And that definitely happened in season one.
So, question, I'm sure a lot of people want to know, why did you decide to do Below Deck Mediterranean? What was your why behind that?
Well, I'd actually gotten a little bit sick of the Med, which I know sounds impossible to do. But I'd flown over and joined a boat in America, and I really didn't get along with my captain. She was a bit of a nightmare. So I left that boat, and then I met some girlfriends, and we were basically just doing Ultra Music Festival in Croatia. And it kind of all just came about as a bit of a joke. And then by the time we got to the stage where I was like looking to accept it, I was like, oh, you know what? I'm kind of done with, this season. It's too late in the season to really, and I had a great summer anyway with the girls. So I think it was more just a why not as opposed to a why at that stage.
I love that. So we have a question from David Thomas. He wants to know, of all the ports of call that Hannah has been on Below Deck, which has been your favorite place so far?
I would have to say probably Santorini. So we weren't in port, we were at anchor, but it was definitely one of the most beautiful places we've been to. And then this year we are so lucky. We do Positano, Capri, the Amalfi Coast. So that coastline there is like one of my favorite pieces of Europe. It's just so gorgeous. So this season I think is probably going to be one of the most beautiful in terms of the scenery, the backdrop, the culture. The Italians are just hilarious. So that always makes for a good laugh when we're off the boat, because they just look at us like we're crazy people, which we are. But,
So we have two of the crew from last season, or the members of the show, are returning. We've got Captain Sandy that is coming back, and we have Adam, who is the chef, right? He does the cooking.
Hi, Judd.
Hey, Judd. Well, Hannah is awesome. She absolutely is. So let's talk about a fact that maybe the public does not know about you. What is something that they do not know about you? You had mentioned something about your desire not to be on TV when we were talking.
Yeah, I guess because it was actually funny. I was even just watching like old school The Hills the other day, and I saw Tom Sandoval from Vanderpump, and I was like, that's a really long time to be working towards, being on TV.
Right.
I never had any desire whatsoever to be on television. I kind of went into Below Deck. The only thing that I did actually say to my parents was if I do it, I'm going to be 100% myself. And we know that is not always
Right.
rainbows and daffodils. So I think probably, yeah, the thing that everyone often thinks when you're part of like a hit show like Below Deck, that you've really worked your whole life to be a part of that. And it just kind of aligned itself. And then, you know, here we are 3 years later, and I've done 3 seasons. So.
Which is pretty amazing. Livy says, hi, Hannah, can't wait for the new season. So let's talk about the new season. Next Tuesday on May 15th, and we're putting it up on the scroll right now, at 9 p.m. Eastern and Western time, which how that works, we're not sure. But 9 o'clock, whether you're on the West Coast or on the East Coast, check your Bravo listing. It's at 9 p.m. I know that you can't really divulge anything that's going to be happening during the show, but can you give us an idea in terms of anything location-wise, or what we should be looking out for? Some beautiful scenery or what? Yeah. Give us some things.
So I would definitely keep my eye out for scenery this year, because Capri is just amazing. The rock formations down there are simply stunning. And so this, I always, like, I kind of thought after season 1, I was like, oh, I know what I'm doing. And then season 2 was so different. And then coming back for season 3 after kind of the little, that was season 2, I was like, I definitely know what I'm doing. And then this year has been like another completely different season. So wow. I feel like the crew this year was really down to earth. They were there for the right reasons, to work hard and have fun. And there's definitely a lot. I didn't think there could be more drama than season 2, but we managed to top it. So it's definitely a super explosive season. So
reality television, right? Reality television at its best.
Yeah. Well, this is the funny thing is like I always get asked, like, do producers come? Do they tell you what to do? Like, how much of it is real? And the funny thing is like, I've got friends that work in other reality TV shows that I know a bit about. But the thing with Below Deck, the magic behind it is you're putting different personalities from different cultures into such a small environment. We work like upwards of 16, 18 hours a day. Right. You don't sleep. When you do have time off, you want to go and have fun and explore where you are, but that's not really helping your sleeping patterns. So they don't actually need to do anything in our show. It's all just so genuine and so natural. Hi, Trina. Sorry, that's one of my favorites.
No, it's great. It's great. We want to give shout outs to people that are on. Please make sure you comment. We'll put you up on the screen.
So yeah, no, it's going to be a really crazy season, and hopefully, like I try and stay really active on social media while the show airs. I'm not the best at it when the show's not airing, but when the show airs, I really try and stay active on social media. So
Gary wants to know, with all that great food, how do you stay in shape?
Did you not notice the massive black jumper?
That was funny.
So no, basically, so when we filmed the season, so last season I lost 17 pounds while we were filming.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a lot of weight to lose in a really short period of time, because I'm just basically I don't eat. I don't really have time to eat, and I just run and run and run the whole day up and down the boat. So I find I'm like super toned after the season and really skinny, and then I have my
enjoy life, and then you go and enjoy life. There you go.
Exactly.
So, we're talking about friendship, when you're talking about girlfriends, we're talking about also, in many respects, how we collaborate with our girlfriends and make even bigger things better. I want to bring in my partner who's actually producing the show right now, Joey Garrity. We're going to pop her in, and we're going to talk a little bit about how even here. So this is Joey Garrity. Say hi to everyone, Joey.
Hi, everyone. Hi.
So Joey is started as a girlfriend of mine. And then she became my business partner, and now we collaborate together. She produces my shows behind the scenes because she likes to be behind the scenes, but I wanted to pop her on. And we have Adela up here saying, good to see an Aussie girl. Make it big. Yes, that's amazing. So, Joey, we're talking about friendship and girlfriends. How do they show up in your life?
Well, I think tribe, right? I mean, I have this, like, one of my drums I'm always talking about is kick the lone wolf to the curb.
Right.
Like we all have to be in a tribe and all just have each other's back in one way or another. And I think sometimes women are taught really young to isolate one another, not to trust. And so that divides the herd. Right. So I'm all about like us all connecting, getting sticky.
Yep. And does trust play a big part in your friendships as well, Hannah?
Yeah, 100%. Mm-hmm. I think that, you know, to me, like I'm always quite busy, but at the end of the day, like if one of my girlfriends needs me, she can call me at 4 o'clock in the morning, and it doesn't matter where I am. I'll drop anything and come to them if they need me. So I just think loyalty and trust is such a big thing in relationships, and I think sometimes it can be quite hard to find, which is sad. But I've got like my core group in Sydney. They're all kind of 10, 15 years old, and we've been through. They're not 10 years old. We've been friends for 10 years.
We got friendships and girlfriends matter the most. Game changer. Absolutely. Absolutely. So I have a question for both of you. And that is, has your definition of girlfriend changed as you've gotten older? Do girlfriends mean something different as you get older? Now, I'm older than both of you, so I can speak to the 60-year-olds. But has the concept of girlfriends changed as you both have gotten older?
Would you like to go first?
I could tell we're both thinking really hard on that. We're both like, yes, they have.
I actually think that it's almost like in your late teens, in your early 20s, I find that, you know, it's so easy to like meet a guy, start dating him and kind of lose touch a little bit with your friends. Whereas I think once you kind of hit the late 20s, 30s, and hopefully it just stays that way as you get older, it's more like, okay, you come into my life, but I've built a life now. I've built a friendship base, and that doesn't go down the drain when you start dating someone. It's, you know, you kind of know that it's really important to prioritize those people in your life despite what else can be going on.
Yeah, Joey? I would definitely agree with that. I would say that actually I feel like it gets easier in a way, you know, because you kind of know you have a different value system as you get older, right? Than when you're younger. And it's just like what Hannah was saying earlier about when you're younger, it's kind of about the guys and who you're dating and all that. And just your priorities just change in a way. And it's not like we're still not loving on the guys, but it's just that I feel like we have a different value systems as we get older, and it makes for easier friendships.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Priorities just shift. I think it's just that you get smarter. That's right.
Yes, you get smarter. You get older. As you get older, you get smarter because I think that our history, our experiences make a difference how we move forward and how we approach our friendships. And for those of you who are watching live right now, and even if you're on replay later on, tell us how friendship and girlfriends show up in your life. So what about Below Deck Australia? Okay, we've got Adela. She's going to, I think, create a new show. We were talking maybe a new show just for you, Hannah.
Great. I'd love to do. I actually think, so, you know, there's obviously the Caribbean right now, and then there's the Mediterranean. I actually think Below Deck South Pacific would be amazing. We've got some gorgeous places down there, New Zealand, the Whitsundays, the French Polynesia area. It's just beautiful. So I would be all on board for that.
I bet you would, and I bet they will be calling you up in just a few minutes now that we've, you know, kind of put the idea out there as a show to do. Hannah, any last thoughts about friendship, girlfriends that you want to share before we do a big shout out for the premiere of the show that is happening next Tuesday? Any last thoughts?
No, I think honestly, my biggest thing that I would say to anyone, even if it's just advice or what have you, is just like treat your girlfriends like gold. Because at the end of the day, I think it's probably just going to be us sitting around having a whiskey or a brandy or whatever in our 60s and 70s. And I just think it's really important to invest a lot of your time, energy, finances, everything like that into your friendships, because they're just so important. So that would be my last words.
I would agree with that. As the 6 ladies who went on the very first season, us older girls, older ladies, we were girlfriends at that age, and we all came together to be on this amazing trip together. So I think that you were right on the money on that. Hannah, I want to thank you so much for taking time. Guys, if you don't know, she's sitting in Barcelona right now. It's 11:30, almost midnight, and you look like the day has just started. I want to thank you for joining us. You can follow Hannah on Twitter, on Instagram, and on Facebook, and I know we've been scrolling those right below there. And finally, set your television sets for Tuesday evening, May 15th at 9 p.m. to watch this beautiful woman. on the 3rd season premiere of Below Deck Mediterranean. Listen, guys, we know that you have a choice as to how to spend your time. We want to thank you for spending time with us today. We are all very, very eternally grateful for that. And make sure to set your clocks for next Wednesday for the next episode. And by the way, I would love for you to vote for me for the top internet streamer 2018. There will be a link somewhere around there. You can go click on it. I was nominated among 60 other amazing streamers from around the world, and I hope that you vote for me because I want to win. What can I say? I want to win. So there you go. Anyways, guys, go out and give somebody an awesome day, and we will see you next week on the next episode of The Little White Lie. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.